All right, we're going to start with the numbers. So if we want to look at Stouffville, February 2021, so we're going to go back a year, there was 154 new listings that came on the market. That is across all home types, so that is condos, semis, towns, links, detached, everything. 114 sales through the month and 111 active listings, which carried over into March 21. If we have a look at January 22, 58 new listings came to market, 33 sales, and 49 active listings, which carried into February 22. Currently, in February, 132 new listings came to market in Stouffville, 80 sales, and 72 active listings. So again, this is pretty consistent with what I'm seeing across the GTA. Way more listings coming on the market in February 22. If you remember my video last month, the absorption rate, which we'll get to, had decreased quite a bit. Buyer activity had also decreased a little bit. But in the case of what we're seeing here, we're seeing more new listings, buyer activity, buyer sales ramping up, and the inventory is building. So we're seeing the active listings pop up a bit. If we're looking at the money, $1,226,000 was the average sale price across all home types in Stouffville a year ago. January 22, it was $1,844,000, currently trending at $1,732,000 in February 22 across all home types in Stouffville. Now, I have said this in other videos. When you see, this decreasing, I would take that as, this number is obviously directly affected by whatever sells in a month. So if you have more multi-million dollar homes selling, more farms, which of course there is in Stouffville, versus more townhouses, semis, condos, it's going to affect that number. So I certainly would not take this as the market is taking a reduction in what your house is worth. Sales to new listings ratio, represented there by the SNLR, tells us out of the homes coming on the market each month, it tells us the percentage of them that are actually selling. So if we're looking at February 21, 74% of the homes that came out on the market sold. January 22, 56.9% of the homes that came on the market sold. Currently trending at 60.6% of the homes sold. And again, we're seeing that absorption rate creep back up, and it's calculated by looking at sales divided into new listings. So and correspondingly, what we're also going to see is the months of inventory go down. So these two are always going to be opposed to each other. So the months of inventory remaining tells us that if no other homes came on the market after today at the current rate of buying, or what we call the current rate of consumption, how long would it take to completely deplete and zero out the inventory? So a year ago, 1 month of inventory, 1.5 in January, currently trending at 0.9. So again, we've seen that buyer activity come up pretty significantly, over double, and we've seen over double the amount of listings that come to market. So again, not surprised to see that our absorption rate is actually climbing a little bit again, and the months of inventory is on the way down. So now, one thing I do want to point out, if you want to know like what's a buyer's market, what's a seller's market, typically when we're 60% and above, that would be there's more demand than there is supply, so it would be a seller's market. Between 50 and 60% is what we would call a balanced market, so there's enough supply to meet the demand. And then anything under 50% typically is a buyer's market, so there's more supply than there is demand. So again, we're hovering around these 50 to 60 marks, so this is actually a good thing, buyers. It means that there's lots of inventory coming on the market, and it also means there's lots of inventory hanging around. So maybe not as much as some of the other markets, but this is a lot of inventory compared to what we had in previous years. So something just to keep your eye on. Sale price to list price ratio, homes selling a year ago at 105.6% of ask, 104.6 in January 22, currently trending at 113.4. Now, these numbers across all my videos, across all the GTA, they're getting fairly big. We're seeing 120s, 130s. I would say right now that the sale price to list price ratio is very much overstated, in that there has been a natural progression towards underpricing of homes. I mean, it was a year and a bit ago where, the last house on the street sold at $899, somebody listed at $899, and then the market really started to ramp up and that person got $999, or they got 1.1 million. Well, the trend has stayed to actually underprice the house, because that's what the guy previous did. And so that's become sort of I don't agree with it, and I think there, I probably speak for quite a few real estate agents that don't enjoy the underpricing of homes. It does put more eyes on the property, but certainly it is a misrepresentation of the actual value or expectation on that house. So again, I would always take that number with a bit of a grain of salt. Days on market to get a home sold, 24 in February, 21 in January, currently trending at 11. So again, we're seeing absorption rate going up, inventory level going down, but we're also seeing days on market going down, which would also be an indicator that the market is beginning to heat up as we come into that springtime. So if you have any questions about any of the information I shared here, how that would pertain to your house, or if you're considering making a change this year, feel free to reach out with your questions. I'm here for you.